Okay. Take that all together. I hope you understand it. Yes. Oh, great. Where you going?
No, thank you.
Where do you want that old fantasy? Hi.
Did you see this?
Oh.
And then it's all taken. And then.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Nice to see a growing crowd here. So people are trickling in, and it's very nice to see more than our numbers are growing. So very promising and appreciated on this kind of drizzling outside, maybe even raining now, but a nice turnout. I appreciate that. So welcome to our Shotsuki service for the month of June, and let me share our service order for today. We'll have the Hyobyakumon, and then the reading of the Shotsuki names. So during the reading of the names, please come up to Oshoko here and at home as you have set up to do. Following the reading of the names, we will have the chanting of the Sambujo and the Amida Kyo, half the Amida Kyo. Nembutsu and Ekoku will complete the chanting portion of our service, and I'll return for our Dharma message for today. Great. Please join me in Gassho. Today, on this occasion of the Shotsuki service for the month of June, members of our temple families have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages, Namo Kyo Butsu, Namo Kyo Ho, Namo Kyo So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nambutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. These are our Shotsuki names for the month of June. Again, please come up in Hoshoko when your family names are read. Abe, Alice. Abe, Yutaka. Akiyama, Isao. Akiyama, Kazuji. Baba, Moshiro. Aideman, Kazuko. Enomoto, Chie. Ferguson, Zachary. Fudena, Kiichi, Hara, Ronald, Hatakeda, Shigeo, Hayashiyama, Tokuhei, Hitomi, Mitsuko, Hitomi, Toichi, Ikeda, Minoru, Ishihara, Masao, Ishikawa, Hiroshi, Imura, Yone, Inoue, Yoshiharu, Iwahashi, Tatsujiro, Kamiya, Iwami, Kato, Chiyo, Kato, Yoshiko, Kawahara, Kyoko, Kimura, Shizuko, Koga, Infant Kenichi, Kuge, Infant Ikuo, Kusada, Midori, Maruyama, Infant Kiyomi, Maeda, Infant Koro, Minami, Fuji, Nakagawara, Mitsuyo, Nakamura, Oko, Nakata, Alice, Nakayama, Takeshi, Narahara, Tomiko, Natsuhara, Mosamuro, Nguyen, Tandoi, Ninomiya, Infant Hisae, Nose, Tozo, Obata, Hatsuye, Okada, Masa, Okamoto, Infant Lin, Ozeki, Hatsuyo, Saito, Kaori, Sasaki, Sae, Shimada, Matsu, Shintani, Kyo, Shiota, Kame, Shiota, Reiko, Shiota, Shigeo, Shiozaki, Risuke, Shiroishi, Soutaro, Sueyasu, Matsutaro, Sueyasu, Takiyo, Takahashi, Teruye, Takano, Yasutaro, Takao, Akiko, Teraji, Kikumatsu, Terao, Shizu, Toyota, Sakutaro, Umene, Miwa, Ushijima, Pearl, Yamamoto, Sagasachi, Yonenaka, Infant Tomi, Yoshimura, Tomio, Tio. These are the Shotsuki names for the month of June. If there are any corrections or additions, please notify the office. We'll now chant Sambujo in Amida Kyo half. Namanda, 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 namanda. Namanda, namanda.
Adai Kinzuru Hara
ぬるだ女性と初代弟子行消防さ赤さ文殊師利法地やいった菩薩賢高大菩薩上昇人菩薩四女勢と初代菩薩牛釈大観陰頭無量昇天大修苦二次文語小老舎利法中世西法果樹万徳文道世界の万極楽合道無分語阿弥陀根源再説法舎利法移動学校上位極楽合国修上無無修苦難樹小楽光明極楽不捨利法極楽国道七十何十七十羅網七十五十改正四法修相異尿成功非国道万極楽不捨利法極楽国道七法地悪毒水不満語中地体順に本社富士四辺街道本言ルリハリ五条小部老各役位本言ルリハリ社公爵襲名の二言直視地中連下大名車輪小式小公公式陽公釈式釈公釈式白公微妙公見舎利法国楽国道上十両税空毒将軍武舎利法非部国道上差天学黄金二次昼夜六時二遊万だらけ東国修上上位昇誕各位英国上下空用他方の部分即位直時伝統本国本直教業舎利法国楽国道上十両税空毒将軍物資舎利法非国上修十奇妙達式市長白国空弱法務舎利下領賓が無名市長聖書州長長夜六時水和霊音合音年書合根合力七五大文八正道文陽税東方行動修上門税音に大質念仏念法念祖舎利法尿物意思上実税祭法少少少医者外部国土無三幕宗舎利法法部国土小無三幕道司名他教無実税小修長大勢阿弥陀仏欲量法安川流園芸少佐舎利法非部国道未風水量小法五十九法羅網随未妙音微妙百千中学同時空差音税音社開示念上念仏念法念相四神舎利法大部国道上十両税空毒将軍南無南無 Nice to hear all the chanting voices behind me. So pretty soon we can pick up the pace. So today I wanted to share some stories about our service books. It's been, a number of different versions that we've had during our time here in the Buddhist Churches of America. And I was remembering, when I was a student at the Institute of Buddhist Studies, we would have a small little red chanting book, and it'd be like this size, maybe twice as thick, but it'd have a red cover, and so we'd always have this little red service book. And so Kusada Sensei would lead the classes in chanting, and he would introduce a new chant, maybe like the Ojo Raisan that we don't normally. We're writing down all the Romanized kanji in our book, and the pitch lines, and where it drops, and where the sounds end, all these little details for every chant we would put in this service book. So, so much information was in here. You didn't want to lose this service book. So everyone kind of guarded it with their lives, and if you happen to miss a class, you would borrow one and copy all those notes that, it's a lot. For 2 hours you're writing down this kanji and the romanization and all that, and little by little you become familiar with the chanting, so very precious, very precious. So over the years I brought some today, that we have different versions here. We have these in Japanese, and I don't remember where this one is from, maybe Southern California, and these we all have in our hands right now, the purple book. And so there was also this version, right, that BCA came out with. And I don't know what was up with the cover on these, making it look like a Bible or something, right? Those are kind of strange. But so many different versions that we have had. And so particularly this one is this red color, and this is the book that we used to carry as students at IBS. And so last week was our Memorial Day cemetery visitations, and first stop for Alameda was to go to the Chapel of the Chimes in Oakland, and we reserved the chapel there, Julia Morgan Chapel, and so we had a group of maybe 20 people there. And after our service, I packed up all the service items and put it in this kind of a large bag, and debating, I asked, should I go put this away in my car, and then they said, oh, Eddie's not going to go upstairs, so just leave them with Eddie and he'll guard them. So the rest of us were going to go up to the different niches and place some flowers and gasho and such. So Eddie was going to wait downstairs, so I put the bag by Eddie. guard this with your life, right? And some people kind of, smiled or giggled a little bit, but that reminded me of these stories that when you are placed as a minister at a temple, you are told that if there's a fire or some kind of emergency, take the statue of Alameda and make sure it goes to somewhere safe, So no matter where I went, I would look first thing to look at the hygiene and the setting and what might be in the way to take the statue down, take it and bundle it with a cloth or something, take it to safety first, and then look for other things, right? And so you're kind of told this, taught this, and so every minister should. They all do this, or at least they should, okay? So one final story is this story about Ryoken's son. So Ryoken was a disciple of Renyo Shonin, okay? So Shinran is on this side, and on the opposite side is the Renyo Shonin, the 8th Gomonchu of our tradition, okay? So direct descendant of Shinran Shonin. And so it is said, we know the Gobonsho letters, we read one, the white ashes at our funerals, and he wrote many letters that were kind of compiled and published as the Gobonsho. And so there was one time where he was writing such a letter, and there was a fire, okay? So I would think the Japanese temples back then, wooden structures and tatami mats, the fire could come real quickly. So he was in his study writing a letter, and he realized the fire is coming quickly. So he got out of there. He hurried to get out. And after he got to safety, he thought, oh, I should have brought his Kyogyo Shinsho, the main writing in our Shin Buddhism is Kyogyo Shinsho, was in the margins and all these, just like I'm talking about the Romanized letters in the chanting book, he had extra notes in his Kyogyo Shinsho. And this is the version that Renyo used to read and study with the words of Shinran. So he thought, oh, I forgot the Kyogyo Shinsho. And so his disciple, Ryoken-san, I'll go in, I'll get the copy for us. So he ran into the burning building. And so ran to the study, Renyo study, and so he got the Kyogyo Shinsho. He located the book, but the fire had closed all the doors. He could not get out. So he committed harakiri, right? Disemboweling, that Japanese we might be familiar with, knowing this word. You disembowel yourself with a short knife, and basically you're cutting your intestines out. Like 3 cuts and your insides come out. And so this is like a suicide. And so he disemboweled himself, and he put the copy of the Kyogyo Shinsho in his gut. And so they found him after the fire, and Ryoken-san had died, but they found this copy of the Kyogyo Shinsho that was still safe and preserved, and because of the stain by Ryoken-san's blood. And so it is said that this is why the earlier service books in Japan are this red color, and probably why our copies were in red that we used as students at IBS. So kind of a tremendous story that we remind ourselves of, when we're told as ministers, protect the Buddha, and if there's something of a fire, these are the things that are of value. So, when we think of Renyo Shonin, he had made our Jodo Shinshu teaching so popular. It is said that 500,000 people were Jodo Shinshu followers during his time. And at that time, that's about half the population of Japan. Through his efforts, that Jodo Shinshu was the primary teachings, and probably because of that, the people who came to America came from areas of Japan that were predominantly Jodo Shinshu members, right, followers. This is why so many people who came to America. So I come from such and such a place in Japan. My family's from this, prefecture or whatever. So, oh, mine too, right? And these places that were very, very strong in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. So this connects so many things, not only to the service books and the story of Renyo, but the efforts of Renyo impacting all of Japan and coming here with our own families. All these things are kind of part of this story of this sutras, the Kyogyo Shinsho, that Ryoken-san protected with his life. So when we come, we kind of remind ourselves of the value and the importance of the Dharma and the Nembutsu teachings, right? So this has kind of become the core or the foundation of our lives, hopefully. So if we can see this, the years, sometimes our families might be connected, or 15, 20 generations. If we go back to Japan, we don't even know. It's just a blur, but just the story of our family lineage, and others who are newer to the tradition, can get a sense of this history that we become connected to. So I think it's very important to be able to hold something of meaning and value in our own lives and to carry this forward. So this is what it means to be a Jodo Shinshu follower, a Jodo Shinshu family. So when we come to the temple, and particularly during Shotsuki service, we are kind of reenacting these connections, these family connections, and into the history of all of Jodo Shinshu. So I think it's a very special thing for us to remind today. So please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Okay, thank you. So again, very special to have a good number. Looks like a real audience. So very special. Thank you for being here, making the effort to be here. We want to thank everyone who was involved to prepare for the service. The altar flowers, nice and fresh. Osanai fruit offerings are up here and everything. The Ujishiki for our Shotsuki service is placed up here, and then tech people who prepare the services and the cameras every week. All these things are involved to bring the services to us and to us at home as well. So we appreciate all of them. Now I'll come down and make sure the incense is burning. So let's conclude with Gassho one last time, and we'll conclude this service. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
お手数かけてすみません。お母さんいなくて寂しい。
Oh,